Hi everyone. A few of you have mentioned that you have tight hamstrings and you've asked me for stretches that you can do at home to assist you with these. Now, while these stretches can be really good for a couple of days because they feel really good and you feel like you've got a little bit more mobility, after a few days you'll need to do these stretches again and again because your muscles will contract back up. The reason that this happens is because our muscles will often contract or feel like they're tightening in order to generate stability within the body. So this is often due to the nervous system actually providing like a protective mechanism to stop us from going to our extended ranges of motion and actually causing an injury through the hamstrings. So I've put together a short video with a few strength exercises for your hamstrings that can help you actually gain a little bit more mobility through the hamstrings and actually reduce those feelings of tightness through the lower limbs. Hope you enjoy them. First of all, we have hamstring curls with the assistance of a chair in front just so you have nice balance. So starting off, you want your hands lightly resting on top of the chair, and what I'm going to do is make sure that I'm close enough to the chair so that my knees can't swing forwards into the chair. From there, I'm going to flex my foot, so by that I mean not pointing the toes, but curl my toes up towards my kneecap and then lift my heel high up towards my bottom and alternate sides. So heel lifts high up towards the bottom, and you'll see here my foot is flexed, not pointed. So keep your foot flexed, alternate, bringing your heel high up towards your bottom. So making sure that you're bringing that heel up as high as possible and not letting that foot drop. Slowly lower the foot down as you return it back to the ground. So you can really pull that heel up high. You might feel like it's going to cramp, that's okay. We need to build strength through those hamstrings. So alternating sides and going up to 20 repetitions if you can. The next exercise is called good mornings. So with this one here, this should not affect those of you with knee osteoarthritis because we're not bending through the knees. Instead, hands on opposite shoulders. You're going to soften the knees, but send your hips right back behind you and bring your chest down so that it's almost parallel with the ground and your back is flat. Then you're going to switch on through those hamstrings and glutes and return all the way back up tall. So my knees stay at a fixed bend. I'm bringing my chest forwards and returning all the way back up tall. Now sometimes you actually need to think about those muscles that you want working. So switch on through the glutes and hamstrings to return up. More of a challenge is hands behind head because it's a slightly longer lever. Coming forwards and straightening back up. So the only bend is at your hip joint, no rounding through the back, and look about 2 meters in front ahead of you on the floor. Making sure that you've got connection with your big toe, the little toe, and the heel on the floor. Going up to 2 rounds of 10 of these good mornings and making sure that you breathe during the exercise, squeezing your bottom and squeezing your hamstrings as you come all the way back up to tall standing. Next up, we have a little prop here. I'm using a little can of beans, or I think it's tomatoes, but you can use a light dumbbell or go heavier with the dumbbell to make it more challenging. So for this one, I'm going to be standing on one leg. Now again, it's not a big bend through the knee. I want you to come up onto one leg. Only do this if you feel safe to do so, or if you've got supports nearby if you need them. Now I'm bending my chest forwards, just like before with the good mornings, balancing on that one leg. So my other leg is back behind me, my chest comes forwards. From here, I'm going to take that can all the way over to one side, then all the way over to the other side. So just passing it between hands and shifting the weight from one side of my body over to the other. So definitely harder with a heavier weight. Make sure your toes spread out on the ground so that they're not clawing at the floor, and pass it from hand to hand 10 times. Then we come back up, switching legs, so going over to the other leg. And remember, the other side of your body can be a completely different story. Passing the can from hand to hand on the other side 10 times. Making sure again that you are keeping your hips tracking straight ahead towards the floor and tummy is on nice and strong. Back of body is nice and long and straight, no rounding backs. Again, another prop. This time I'm using a stick, but you could use a kitchen bench or a wall or the back of the couch. Get creative because you can do these ones anywhere. Now, I'm going to be holding the stick in my right hand while I'm balancing on my left leg. This one is an arabesque or a single leg deadlift. So I'm starting off with my right knee nice and high at a tabletop position. Then I'm going to reach my right leg back as my chest comes forwards. Return back up, bring that right leg up high. Reach the right leg back, come forwards, return back up high. So you'll see I'm hinging at my left hip joint here, and I'm squeezing my left glute, squeezing my hamstring to return up high. Make sure you don't strangle the stick, keep your grip light. And then of course for the other side, switch hands. Now I'm standing on my right leg, down and up, 10 per leg, making sure that you go through your full range, bowing all the way forwards, keeping this knee softened until you feel a little stretch through the hamstring, then return back up to that little knee drive with the left leg. Finally, we have glute bridges with marching. So I have got my heels just out of reach of my fingertips here, starting off with nice shoulders back and down, whole foot planted on the ground, lift your hips up towards the ceiling and lower all the way back down, squeezing your glutes and squeezing through the back of your legs. Now, if you feel like your hamstrings are going to cramp here, bring your heels slightly closer, but play around with the position here. So if you take your heels slightly further away, you'll notice your hamstrings are working a little bit harder. Squeeze your glutes at the top and lower back down. Now, a little challenge here is lifting up and holding, making sure that you're nice and steady through your hips, as if you could balance a little teacup and saucer on your hips without it spilling from side to side, and lifting up one leg followed by the other into a nice, slow, controlled marching movement. As you lift one leg up, you should feel the opposite hip stabilizing, and alternate for 10 counts, then rest and do again. I hope you enjoyed these exercises. Please let me know if you have any other requests and I'll be happy to film a video for you. Thank you. Have a lovely day.